Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I've decided to start a Let's Play of Lord of the Rings Online. I'm still currently doing a Let's Play of Guild Wars Reforged and also doing a little bit involving Dungeons & Dragons Online, but I thought I'd start something new today. And again, I'm probably going to be starting a lot of Let's Plays here going into the new year, but the idea is to just kind of have fun and see what sticks and what doesn't stick. Maybe some Let's Plays I'll end up taking a break from, and some I'll come back to in the future. It's just one of those things. So this is probably going to be one of my last Let's Plays. Let's Play videos I'll be producing before the new year, as I do have to do a little bit of traveling over the next week, so probably won't get to be recording a lot of gameplay in the next week. But without further ado, I figured we'd start off a new character here in Lord of the Rings Online. We are in Mossward, which is the starter area for the Beyond the Shadow expansion, which was kind of a weird expansion for a Lotro. Like, normally, expansions, you receive, like, endgame like level upgrades, like there's a whole raise to the level cap and all that kind of stuff. This was one of those weird expansions where they actually just added more to sort of the base game at the beginning, and they gave a more modern, basically, way to level your character from 1 to 30. Which was not in the game before. A lot of the stats in the armor is a little bit more modernized to fit in with sort of like the modern stat progression, with this game being sort of like a, over almost 20 years, coming up to 20 years now, 20 years old. I think it's like going to be 19, I think the 19th anniversary. So we still got a year to go before the game hits 20. But essentially, yeah, this expansion is a little bit more of a modernization of like early leveling in Lotro, and I do really enjoy the story of the zones, of these early zones, and I'm really excited to experience them again with you all. I'll be reading all the text as we start questing, and I will edit down anything that gets a little bit too repetitive. I'm not going to be super heavy with the editing, but I will be editing some things just for the sake of avoiding repetition when I can. So without further ado, I just rolled a captain, and yeah, so my plan, I think I'm going to go yellow captain. Usually when you're leveling, you go with red. I would like to do kind of a very slow sort of role-playing type Let's Play through, where I think when we get out of the tutorial zone, I will raise the difficulty level to like around, I believe it's the first fearless, whatever. I would like to, make sure that the mobs are not like too easy, so we can have a little bit of danger in our playthrough. I think that's always kind of nice. So yeah, those are kind of the parameters I have for this Let's Play. We'll see how far things go, and yeah, let's get started. So we've just spawned into this beautiful, beautiful area here. We are in Village of Mossward, which is in the zone of Swanfleet, levels 1 through 15. So without further ado, let's start the story. I can see from the road dust on your clothes that you have traveled a great distance to be here, and so long as you cause no trouble for my folk, you are welcome to stay. It takes a hardy sort to make a living here on the edge of the wild, and the folk of Mossward will gladly put you to work, if you're willing. I think you'll find the people here to be friendly and welcoming, if you treat them kindly.
I see Geralt is out and about. Why not introduce yourself to him?
I forgot that this little mini tutorial is fairly heavily voiced. I hope you don't mind me staring. We don't see many adventurers in these parts. The nearest we usually get is that Menelder. Says he's a ranger. It seems to me that's just an excuse for having dirt on his clothes and disappearing into the wild at all hours. But anyway, Mossward is a quiet village, always has been. Cause no trouble, and you can stay as you like. But first things first, you should pay a visit to our blacksmith, Scotty Benblade. He'll clean and fix up your gear for you. His shop is just up these steps. Look for the sign with the anvil on it. All right, thank you, sir.
Who's this?
You're an adventurer, I can tell. What brings you to Mosswood? Before you can answer, the dwarf goes right on talking. This is a quiet village, and the folk here like it that way. I assume Bevan warned you not to disturb the peace. Of course he did. He says that to me near every fortnight, as if I might summon a troop of rowdy dwarves from my homeland at any moment. If only I could. What did you say your name was?
We don't see many adventurers in Mosswood. I suppose Manelt here counts.
I am no adventurer, Scotty.
Well, what are you then?
I was a ranger. It is quite different.
You won't find a better smithy for miles around, friend. Put your gear on the counter, and I'll fix it up for you.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Very good. Won't cost you anything, friend. Not this time, anyway. Here you go. It's important to have a fine weapon.
All right, thank you, kind sir. Just carrying around a bunch of equipment won't help you much in battle, as I'm sure you know. You want to be sure to equip your weapons before you get into a fight. My friend Scotty speaks the truth. You do not want to stride into battle without your weapons equipped, for they will do you little good at the bottom of your bags. He is right on this point as well. Mosswood is a quiet village, and few adventurers come this way, let alone one who carries himself as you do. What road has brought you to Mosswood on the border of Swanfleet, my friend? You consider what should be said of your past to this curious stranger. Would you speak of an upbringing that gave to you a desire to see distant wonders? Or of the dangers that even now encroach upon the lands of all free folk, compelling you to fight on behalf of those who cannot? Before you can choose the right words, Menelder raises his palm.
I do not mean to pry. Your past is your own. My chieftain Strider always said... What is that?
The town bells. Something is amiss outside.
Follow me. Hurry.
Uh-oh. Not looking good, huh?
The town is afire! We are under attack!
Under attack? By whom? This smells like orcs to me, Sepkapi, but I cannot understand it. Orcs have not troubled these lands for many years. Come with me and stay close. We will get to the bottom of this and save the town if we must.
Follow me.
Look there. We found the villain. Show him no mercy.
That's the way.
Well done, my friend.
This goblin set so many fires alone.
There is trouble to the east, Manel. I need fighters.
My new friend here is capable and will provide the help you need.
I'm glad for any help you can give me. Stay close!
What will you do, Manel?
I will circle around and search for the one who leads these goblins. Farewell for now.
Rangers. Follow me, my new friend. There will be fighting. safety. I would not count on it. What did I tell you?
Ellery, I see you've been on visit. I like this one much more than these others.
Me too, Scarlet. Come with us. Look ahead. Those are not goblins. Uruks! Headwind!
I'm not afraid, Mother.
Not afraid? This brat hasn't heard of a fighting Urukai, boys. The machinery of war has been set in motion. The time of the Orc is at hand.
Oswald, attack!
Kill them all!
You are right, sir. I had a better sword, I could have slain him myself. I wasn't afraid.
Oh, Headwind.
Thank you so much for saving our son from those horrible creatures. What were they? Some breed of orc? Why would they come to Mossward? We are most fortunate you were here, stranger.
What do you make of this?
These Uruks have decorated their equipment with a sigil I have not seen before. The mark of a white hand. It may be the symbol of this raiding party, but for all the hurt this band has inflicted upon Mossward, they were still few in number and disorganized. What need have they for such a sigil? None now, thanks to our efforts, but still I wonder. I will think on it, Sipkapi. What meaning might this mark possess? Sipkapi, will you ask Eleri if she has seen this symbol before today? The white hand? No, I have not seen this symbol before, and that troubles me. What new danger might it signify? For now, we should help the folk of Mossward recover from this attack. I trust you will lend your aid. You have become embroiled in this just as I have. If it is a life of adventure you seek, I assure you that you seem to have found it. Or it has found you. You have become part of a larger world, Sipkapi, and it may prove different than the one in which you lived until now. Dangers must be faced and threats opposed and overcome, if you are willing to strive against them. Not everyone is, but I judge that you will be no stranger to triumph and victory. All right, and now we have entered the open world. Oh. Taking a while to load in properly here. All right. So first things first, we're going to head to the difficulty NPC. All right, so we're going to head to this NPC here. We're going to set our difficulty to, I guess, Fearless.
Some of Mossward's residents sustained injuries we cannot heal.
And they are beyond our aid. We will mourn for them later, but now we must focus upon those we can still help. Menelder hands you a small bundle of bandages and a pouch of bitter-smelling salve. This is the last of my supplies, but there was no reason to save them for another day. Bring these bandages and this salve to the injured residents nearby. It is my hope that their hurts will not prove serious, and these will ease the pain of their injuries. Very well then. Time to treat the wounded. Thank you, Sipcapi. The people of Mosswood sometimes look down upon the rangers that were once my kin, but they do welcome their aid when it is offered. My former chieftain Strider may say the distrust of such folk does not bother him, but if that is true, he is a better man than I am. A pained look crosses Menelder's face. That is true for many reasons, Sipcapi. I have not called the Dunedain my kin for some time now, but I would never question Strider's integrity or his courage. But look here, the Uruk that led this band has something in his hand. See if you can't wrest it from his grip. You wrest a scrap of parchment from the Uruk's death grip. Right, let's have a look, shall we? Gurnarpakat, Turkul Dalgum, Gurnargzabat, Qatar. Wonder what that would be.
Let's see if this parchment holds any clues for us.
Menelder briefly studies the crumpled parchment, but then he looks up, disappointed. I cannot read much of this. If this were an ordinary day, I would be grateful to have no reason to understand the black speech. But on this day, it is a cause for frustration. Old Sipcapi, what has happened to this Uruk's blade? It did not fall far from his body, unless my eyes were somehow deceived. You hear the shouts and excited yelling of children to the northwest. Alright, let's go have a look.
It is so much better than the wooden sword I was using before. I found it, and it belongs to me now. My father says that when you're in a battle, you get to keep the spoils, and I stood up to those Uruks even when the town guard wouldn't. If anyone should get to keep that Uruk's blade, it's me. Well, wait a moment. You're an adventurer, right? If you promise to help train me in the adventuring arts, maybe I'll give you the sword. I'm not saying I will, you understand? I'm saying maybe. It'll depend on how good your training is. So what's my first lesson, stranger? What's the first thing I need to know to become an adventurer?
Tegwin considers the defeat circle. So what is this? He asks you. You explain that adventuring is dangerous work, and sooner or later your morale is likely to run out. When that happens, you will find yourself at one of the many defeat circles scattered around the land.
Very funny, stranger. I know that fighting is dangerous. That's why I will try not to fight enemies that look to be beyond my capabilities. But sometimes it's unavoidable, I suppose. And when that happens, if I'm defeated, I'll find myself at the nearest defeat circle to where I fell in battle. Where next?
Tegwin asks you.
Scardy spends more time fixing horseshoes than he does forging swords.
I mean no insult, Scardy, but it's true. What use does an adventurer have with a shop like this?
You explain that as an adventurer engages in combat, equipped weapons and armor sustain durability damage, and folks such as Scardy Benblade are able to repair them so you can keep using them. Additionally, shopkeepers throughout Middle-earth can sell an adventurer all sorts of items and equipment that will aid you in your journeys. Scardy clears his throat and speaks up.
That all costs coin, young Tegwin. Horseshoes and swords alike. But if that raid is a sign of things to come, I think the swords might become more in demand than they have been until now.
Equipment is important, Tegwin admits.
But I want to hit something.
Now this is more like it.
Alright, we are level 2. We can now choose our spec. Guess we're going to go with leader of men. Okay.
If you impress me, maybe I'll give you this Uruk sword.
Well, I'm ready for you to show off your combat skills, and if you impress me, I'll give up this Uruk sword. It had better be a good demonstration, or the bargain is done.
You explain that captains rely on their battle shout to put them into a battle-readied state. Tegwin nods.
Interesting. Well, let's see it. That's what this training dummy is for, after all.
That was all right, I guess.
But surely you have more powerful attacks at your disposal. You explain that a captain can follow their battle shouts with even more powerful attacks, such as Devastating Blow.
Wow, I want to see that. That was a decent show, I suppose.
Tegwin struggles to suppress any show of excitement.
One more. Show me one more skill of yours, and make it incredible.
Alright, let's do this then. Elendil's Roar. Alright, Tegwin reluctantly hands us his blade. Time to bring the Uruk blade to Meneldir by the east gate of Mossward.
You recovered the Uruk blade from Tegwin before he hurt himself? Very well done.
Meneldir gets a faraway look in his eye and gazes over the surrounding wall of Mossward. I remember being that age and dreaming only of adventure, of excitement. I was not so very different from young Tegwin when I was a boy growing up in the angle of Mythithel, where my people dwell. I do not judge him harshly for taking the sword, and I hope you will not either. His parents busy themselves with the work of fortifying Mossward's defenses, and I dare say they remain unaware of the boy's mischief. I will not tell them if you do not, said Cappy. I've been away from the land that was my home for many years now, said Cappy. I was once of the Dunedain, my friend, the Rangers of the North, and one of their several charges was to safeguard these lands and their peoples from harm. Their other duties, well, they are likely as far away as they have always been, and not my concern any longer. I will not speak of those today. But a peaceful village has been attacked and some of its people slain. Will you help me replenish my supplies of the healing herb called Kingsfoil, and defeat any of the creatures nearby that may threaten Mossward? You will know Kingsfoil by its sweet smell and the feel of its leaves. Look for it on the rolling hills to the east of the village. As you wish. The raid on Mossward by that band of Uruks has left our defenses in a terrible state, friend. If it wouldn't be too much trouble, could I ask you to collect fallen branches from the bases of trees outside the town? With them, we will be able to patch up holes on the outer palisade and replace some of the wood burned during the attack. I know it does not sound like a very important task, but it would truly be a big help to us. With so many good folk injured and slain during the raid, Eleri thinks we should focus on the small things we can do something about. I suppose I see her point. As you wish. Alright, let's go look. Looks like we got some king's foil up here. Some wild boars. I am going to get rid of the combat music because I find I enjoy a lot of the music in this game, but sometimes the combat music breaks immersion for me. This small leafy plant could be mistaken for a simple weed by the untrained eye, but to Meneldir, it is a healing herb of unique and beneficial properties. Take out some more of these wolves here. Alright, what have we got here? This branch should serve nicely to to patch up some holes in the walls. Right, that's all the branches. One more critter to go after here. I will see to making use of them to patch the holes in our defenses, and perhaps some of the larger branches can be used for tool making. Small items have gone missing of late. No reason I can tell, and we need to replace them. This has been the life of a Mossward town guard ever since they took me on. If Uruks are loose in Swanfleet, that may be about to change.
Perhaps you could help me once again.
They do say change comes softly, and for now I have other matters to which I must attend. Or perhaps you could help me once again. Marion smiles broadly. That is the spirit. Now, there won't be any Uruks to face this time, but until last night, this was the most common complaint among the town's people. Eleri says we should handle simple things first. Well, what could be more simple than doing something about the squeaky hinges on doors in Mossward? Karagan insists he ran outside to attack the raiding Uruks. They were alerted to his approach by the loud squeak of the door to his home. Not sure I believe that story, or it is much more likely that he was running into his house when the hinges gave him away, but who can say for certain? Right, we'll see about that. Thank you for the King's Foil, and for helping dissuade some of the more aggressive creatures from straying too near the village. Against such beasts, Alarian, Bevan, and the others of the Guard are more than a match, but against Uruks I fear they will be outclassed. The question now is whether Madthrug's band was alone, or if there are others of his kind waiting for their next chance to strike. Mossward is not the only village in Swanfleet, Sepkapi. Can I ask you to check on the stewards who live nearby? Visit the stable master here in the village for a quick means of traveling to the village of Clegger in the Stourvales. They should be told what happened in Mossward, and guard themselves against possible attack. The stable master is to the southwest, and provides efficient travel options for reaching distant lands. Thank you for that. I want you to understand something, Sepkapi. Something that may be hard to believe given the events of last night. Mossward is a quiet town, and it has always been a quiet town. Winters can be hard if we don't fill the storehouse with sufficient food, but it has been many years since the folk of Mossward failed in their preparations. Mostly we've had to worry about the wolves of Howling Stones growing over bold and straying too near the walls. But the Uruks loose in Swanfleet have changed all that. What will we do if another war captain like Madthrug brings his band to Mossward? Could they remain hidden from our watchtowers until they were nearly upon us, as they did before? Beyond Howling Stones to the southeast, a hill rises above the plain. Can I ask you to go to that hill and look out into the distance? You may not see anything, but even that will be good for me to know. Certainly. But before we do so, we've got to head to the blacksmith shop.
You need a bottle of grease to use on the hinges of squeaky doors throughout Mossward. Whenever anyone needs something, they come first to me instead of checking the storehouse.
You apologize to Scotty for assuming he had such an item.
I do have a bottle of just what you need. That's not the point. Ah, fine, take it. But while you're at it, how about you test it out on the hinges of my door there? I have noticed a bit of a squeak in the hinges lately, with everyone coming in and out at all hours in search of fine goods.
A good amount of grease applied to the hinges has put an end to the squeaking. Alright, it's about time we headed and fixed some other doors around town. This one, perhaps? Ah, this one. The healer's shop. You will put an end to the squeaking of the healer's shop door. Alright, time to head to Cadogan's house. How odd. The squeaking is only getting louder. I guess it was a different kind of squeaking, huh?
How fared your efforts against the squeaky doors of Mosswood?
You tell Marion about what transpired, and he covers his eyes with a weary hand. Rats in the village? I don't like the sound of that, Sipcappy. Having rats loose in the town could be a danger to the food stores. I'll see what I can do. Between the Uruks and the rats, it's a wonder to me that I ever thought the life of a guard might be an uneventful one. Thanks all the same, friend. We here in Mosswood will manage. We always do. Alright, time to go find the hill southeast of Hallingstones, mentioned by Larry. Oh, what do we have here? We are ambushed. Alright, let's have a look from the hilltops southeast of Hallingstones. This seems to be the hill. From this vantage point, the basin through which runs the Old South Road seems mostly quiet. That's good to know.
All appears quiet? That is good, but I will not relax my guard.
There are more locations to scout. There are several places from which the Uruks or others of their ilk might approach.
You know the road that passes through Swanfleet, of course.
It begins on this side of the old city of Tharbad, and runs east, past the Wade Water until it reaches Enedwaith. There are not as many travelers along it as once there were, but Mosswood is still a sheltered place of rest for those who come this way. Might it also serve to speed Uruks and other orc kind on their raids? Will you follow the track that runs from the north gate of Mosswood until it meets up with this road? Once there, I would appreciate if you took a look, as you did before. You should be able to see both east and west for quite a distance, and if there are more raiders about, you might see them. As you wish. Alright, road goes ever on. This meeting of the ways is the one Ilari described. So let's have a look. Portions of the road are overgrown and lack cobbles, but you see no sign of raiders.
You say you saw no sign of Uruk warbands along the road? These are good tidings.
But it means the road is still a boon for Mosswood and not a bane, as I feared it might become. That road has been key to Mosswood's survival for my entire life, Sipcappy. A portion of it we know begins at Tharbad, and although the road itself is broken in places and obscured by foliage, it runs through Swanfleet and passes on into Enedwaith. From there it enters Dunland, leads through the Gap of Rohan, and continues on into Gondor. They say it passes Minas Tirith, and eventually ends at a port city along the coast, although I have never journeyed in that land. North of Tharbad, the road has another name. It is called the Greenway, and only Meneldir's people are like to remember when it and our own Old South Road were one and the same. The North-South Road between the kingdoms of Arnor and Gondor. That was long ago, even by their reckoning.
I have one more request of you, and then I will be satisfied.
This may be more dangerous than your earlier scouts, and if you hesitate to accept this task, I will understand. The old city of Tharbad is to the northwest of Mosswood. It has not been the thriving center of trade it was during the height of earlier kingdoms for hundreds of years, and it has been abandoned ever since floodwaters took the last of its great bridges. Ellery raises an eyebrow. Abandoned by good folk, said Cappy. Has it been a den of Uruks? Is that from where Madthrug's raiding band came? This, then, is my dangerous request. I ask that you go to the gates of Tharbad and look for some sign of the insignia he wore, the mark of the White Hand. Beware, for if Tharbad is truly held by forces of evil, you may be better served by keeping from their notice and not engaging in battle. Tharbad is to the northwest of Mossworld. Go just to the gate, mind you, and no further. As you wish. We can look out here and see the vast ruins here that were once a part of the great kingdom of Cardolan, which of course at one time was part of the greater kingdom of Arnor. So much lore in this game. So rich, this world. That's why I love this game so much. Alright, this seems to be the location Ellery described. Let's have a look. The harsh cries of orcs can be heard within Tharbad, but you see no markings. It is good to hear you did not see the mark of the White Hand while scouting near the gate. Orc-kind are always a danger to the Free Peoples, but it is the organization revealed by Madthrug's warband that most troubled me. We can deal with orcs, for we have before, but the Uruks of the White Hand seemed different to me. Thank you for helping ease my mind with these scouting missions, said Cappy. You will always be welcome in Mossworld. Many thanks. Alright, time to go hire one of the stable master's horses and follow the travel route to Clegger in the Stourvales. Let's do that. Alright, seems like a little cozy hobbit town here.
How do you do?
Welcome to Clegor, finest of the villages to be found in the Stourvales.
May I ask the reason for your visit?
You explained that the village of Mossward was recently attacked by a raiding party consisting of goblins and uruks, and the Ranger Meneldir fears other similar bands may endanger the villages of the Stourvales.
Oh my! Are you certain? We have not had such troubles for, well, longer than I can remember, that's for sure. Who would threaten the stores?
The mayor must be told of this.
The mayor must be told of this, even if the very idea is preposterous. It's not that I don't believe you, it's just that folk here have lived peacefully for so long. We keep to ourselves, and we like it that way. Climb up the path to the south and tell the mayor what you told me. Malmadog will know what to do about this, if anything must be done.
What's that? Goblins and Uruks?
Ordinarily, I would say you were spinning tall tales and send you on your way without supper. But there was a good deal of excitement in the night a few hours past. Some of the hunters we sent out never came back. I am worried about them, but I am even more concerned that without the meat they were supposed to bring back, our food stocks will be thinner than planned. You don't need me to tell you that autumn can turn to winter quite unexpectedly, no matter how pleasant the mornings or afternoons might seem, and he who does not plan for the night will find himself hungry by morning. I will consider what you have told me, but I will consider it more quickly if you bring back some choice cuts of meat from the beasts of the Stourvales. Bring them to Cunida Moltgig, our butcher, at his shop down the hill. Alright, time to go hunting for some boar. We do have quite a few here, though they're higher level. I'm not sure I'd want to take them on quite yet, since we are playing around with a higher difficulty level here. Maybe let's head back to Moss Ward and continue a few more quests there. Alright, now that we're back in Moss Ward, we'll take a little break from the main quests and try to see if we can help the people of Moss Ward a little bit more here.
Stay a moment.
This Kingsfoil herb works wonders. I'm grateful that Menelder shared his knowledge with us, though I wish he didn't wait until a crisis to do so. In any case, we need more if we hope to continue treating the injured with such efficacy. Now that I know what it looks like, I realize that Kingsfoil grows aplenty in the Howling Stones to the southeast. I'd be grateful if you could gather more. Just watch out for the wolves. I hear they are ill-tempered as of late. Absolutely. Look there, friend. The ruins to the east have long been home to a pack of wolves. They have always been content to leave us alone, and we were all too happy to return the favor. Something seems to have upset this unspoken pact. The wolves have grown aggressive. I dared to venture close to the ruins, and eyed a great beast known as a warg among their number. I didn't think it to be real at first. Wargs are monsters we tell the children about to get them to behave. We have our hands full with rebuilding Mossward and recovering from the attack. We lack the strength to fight this beast. If you were to slay the warg, you would spare both ourselves and the wolves from needless conflict.
Might I take a moment of your time?
These poor creatures are still recovering from the shock of what happened the other day. We all are, really. They could use a little attention, but alas, I cannot pet all the animals at once. But such attention often helps to calm their nerves. Could you take a little time out of your day to reassure some of these critters? Absolutely. The chicken seems no less anxious, but you tried your best. A nervous goat. The nervous goat seems slightly less nervous. The cow was now only slightly perturbed, instead of fully perturbed.
Greetings.
Wasn't that lovely? They seem more at ease already. I find that taking care of the critters is just as soothing for the critters as it is for the caretaker. Wouldn't you agree? Next, I could use some help cleaning up their droppings. Wait, where are you going?
You look pretty tough to me. You're not scared of anything, are you?
Maybe you can help me then. The Mossward Town bully has dared me to run to a certain spot north of town, right on the very edge of Wadewater, and then come back, all in 10 minutes. Now, I'm not afraid, but I want to be certain it's possible. So what do you say to using no more than 5 minutes to run out there, and then 5 minutes to run back? That way I'll know it can be done before I make the attempt. Here, I'll mark it on your map. It's right here. Really? Alright, I'm cheating on this one. We're using the horse. This is the spot Allah described. Strangely, there is a basket with a ball of string in it here. Is that so? Okay. Return to Allah in northeastern Mossward without running out of time. I have to admit that I was not sure you would be able to go out there and come back in time, but you did. So did you see anything when you got out there? You tell her that there was a basket with a ball of string inside it beside the Wadewater, which seemed rather strange. I see. Yes, that is peculiar. Thank you for your help.
You are not going to believe this.
I really appreciate your help with that, Crappy. When I go to complete that dare, now I know how to do it, that it's possible, and that it's going to make a big difference. But you are not going to believe this. The bully has issued a second dare, He must know I'm well prepared to finish the first one, so he's already made up his second one. Will you help me with this one too? I simply must know if this is possible. The same rules are at play this time as there were for the first time. 5 minutes out there and 5 minutes back. I'll mark the spot on your map, as I did before. This time, you're going within view of the flooded city of Tharbad. Alright. Time to run out there once more. Playing silly games with silly girls, I suppose. While we're on the road, spend another trait point. This is the spot I described. How odd. A shovel stands abandoned in the dirt here. Well, you have quite proven capable of finishing these dares. Now I know this one is also possible, and when I do it, I will have less to fear, even though the grown-ups always say getting so near to Tharbad is dangerous. So what did you see when you got to that location? Anything notable? You tell her that there was a shovel standing in the dirt, but its owner was nowhere to be seen. Very interesting. All right, thank you once again. That is the last of the Mossward Bully's dares, so I won't be needing your help anymore. But you have been most helpful, and I appreciate it. Right, we're back in town. Time to pick up some more quests in Mossward. We've got quite a bit here.
Have you been to the Sturvales?
Have you been to the Sturvales? I was once a traveler, but I met my wife here and chose family. I never made it out that far. I've heard fascinating tales from my friend of a floating village overlooking the river. I would have loved to witness this place. If you'd like to see it for yourself, you can talk to my friend Larry Grudd. You'll find her southeast of here, past the Howling Stones in a town called Clegger. But I do have need of an adventurer today, if you're interested in helping me. My husband has lost a boot. Oh, it's not just any boot. It's his favorite, and it would be a shame to discard the remaining one just because he misplaced its mate. He lost it walking out by the edge of the wade water to the north, and upon getting stuck in the mud, it just came free of his foot. If you can find it and bring it back to me, I would really appreciate it. No problemo.
Could you help me with something?
Excuse me, could I bother you to help me make some deliveries? More of us are volunteering for shifts up on the watchtowers. The new folks forget to pack a lunch. Would you mind bringing these sandwiches and canteens to whoever's on watch? Why, certainly. Alright, can we talk to anybody here? I guess we'll just pick up all the quests, huh?
I hope these dark days will soon be behind us.
Well met, traveler. On behalf of the people of Lan Garan, I thank you for all that you've done for our new neighbors here in Mossward. I wish we had been able to fight alongside them, but we weren't aware of the attack until after it was repelled. Still, we will be sure to help them rebuild. You've never heard of Lan Garan, you say? I would expect not, as we only recently built it. As such, if you have settled your matters in Mossward, I would invite you to visit us north of here along the Wadewater. We had to leave much behind when we left Dunland, and winter approaches quickly. Speak to our leader, Talfrin. I'm sure he'll have plenty of work for an adventurer. Alright. I think that'll be the last thing we do, since we kind of want to tie up any quests we have here in Mossward.
I've heard there are many uses to which unassuming objects might be put.
And one of these seemingly ordinary items is in great supply, just outside Mossward. I speak of the Crabane that trouble the hills just to the north, Sep Cappy. If you defeat some of the winged pests, and bring me their feathers, doubt not that you will marvel at the wide variety of potential uses those feathers might be put. And it will do the town some good to have fewer of the Crabane, hassling travelers along the old South Road. Some folk whisper that the birds spy for orcs and other evil creatures, but I do not have any proof of that.
I'm afraid things will get out of hand.
I have heard rumor that the children of Mossward have been giving each other increasingly dangerous dares and challenges, and I am worried that these may get out of hand, if they have not already. None of the town guards will be able to learn anything. You know how children are, but perhaps an outsider will be able to learn something. Several children lingered outside the provisioner's storehouse a few minutes ago, and it could be one of the provisioners overheard some of their talk. We need to get to the bottom of this before someone gets hurt, Sepkapi. As you command. Alright. Let's do some food deliveries here. Food deliveries to all the guards on the watchtowers, I suppose.
Greetings, friend.
Ooh, lunch. That's wonderful. Oof, my tummy was beginning to growl like an angry cat. I volunteered to take the noon to sundown shift, thinking, oh, well, I'll just have a big lunch and look forward to a large supper. I won't need a snack. But let me tell you, standing around for hours with nothing to look at but the grass has a strange way of building up an appetite. Oh, but don't let me keep you from my blabbering. Off you go now, and tell the baker she's lovely and thoughtful. Thanks to both of you.
Greetings, friend.
Mutton? Oh, I love mutton. Mutton, like a button. Oh, you're still here. You, didn't hear me singing a song about mutton, did you? I'm not used to, standing around here doing nothing all day. I sing about little things I see to keep myself occupied. Please don't tell anyone.
How can I be of service?
A lunch delivery? Ah, for the new folk who forget to bring food and drink. Well, an experienced watcher like myself remembered to bring her own. Lahian gives you a wink and pats a satchel at her hip. Unless, is that chicken, mushroom, and onion with rosemary? Lahian opens her satchel. Give it here, friend.
How can I be of service?
Guion takes a long swig from the canteen before speaking. I pack salted pork for food. I forgot to bring anything to drink. It wouldn't do for me to leave my post to fetch something. Thanks for the water, friend, and pass my thanks to the baker, too. Alright, looks like all the lunch has been delivered.
Be of service.
Thanks for helping out. These are hard times for Mossward, but if we support each other, we'll get through it, right?
Would you lend me your aid?
A group of children. Aye, I saw them. They were hoping to get their hands on as much cheese as possible, which seemed a little odd to me. I did not give them as much as they requested, but I thought one small block from the storehouse, each would be fine. Those kids have been through a lot, what with the Uruk raid on Mossward, and I have seen few problems that could not be helped with cheese.
You had better get going, I think. So long.
What are you doing here, Sepkapi? I thought you would have left Mossward by now. You had better get going, I think. So long. You stand your ground and ask Allah why the children of Mossward needed so much cheese from the storehouse. Her eyes grow wide and a panicked expression crosses her face. We aren't in trouble, are we? It's just that we finally managed to turn the tables on the town bully, and you helped us do it. If we're in trouble, I think you should be also. It's only fair. Given Mossward's recent rodent problem, Dai could be in real trouble.
They were following me until I gave them the slip.
Oh no, they're coming back. All right, all clear. We should also summon our heralds now that we got them. We've gained enough levels. We can bring our companion here with us. Alright, return to Allah by the northeast side of Mossward. Good job saving him, I suppose. Still, now he's got a really exciting tale to tell. Did he keep the cheese, or did he have to give it back to the provisioners? I have been thinking it over while you were gone, and I think maybe we won't challenge each other to any more dares for a while. For a while, I said. I'm not saying never, so don't think you're stopping us if we think of a really good one. Goodbye for now, Subcappy. Alright. Looks like it's time to head out of town and go Crabane hunting. You know, one thing I never understood is, like, sometimes they are labeled as Kraban, and sometimes they are labeled as Crabane. I wonder why. I've always wondered that. Like here, Kraban. Here, Crabane. Alright. Looks like we gathered enough Kraban feathers. Let's go look for Geralt's missing boot. When I think of Geralt, I always think of Geralt from The Witcher. Ah, what's this? Suspicious object in the mud. It might just be Geralt's boot. Okay, let's have a look. You pull an old and very dirty boot from mud. It was really stuck in there. Right. Sounds like we've been able to complete what we've been sent to do here. Time to return to Mossward.
You found it. He is going to be so happy.
You should bring it to him. He used to be an adventurer, you know, and he traveled far and wide helping folk with their problems. Sometimes I think he fills the head of our boy Tegwin with too many tales of his old adventures. But maybe if he hears about some of yours, it will satisfy his appetite for the things. I think Geralt is by the north gate, wearing his old leather shoes.
What is this?
You hand his favorite boot to him, and Geralt stares at you with open-mouthed astonishment. Why have you brought me this? I thought I was rid of it.
That boot is one half of a pair that was dearest to my heart. They were my adventuring boots.
They represent a life that I gave up to settle down with my wife, Wenna. Now I only want to relive those days by telling tales of my exploits to my son Teg. Now these boots are my least favorite, but they remind me of those days, and sometimes the memory is painful. I thought I would lose one of them. Better that than have Wenna think I regret the choice I made to settle down. But here it is again, and it seems I will never be free of it. Did I not bring it far enough away? That must be it. Perhaps you could bring this boot further afield. Why not show it to one of the villagers in the Stourvales? That is pretty far away, and one of the residents of Clegger might be able to find a use for such an old, well-worn boot as this. Alright. If you say so. We've got our Kraban, or Crabane, feathers.
There you are. Let us see those feathers.
There you are, Subcappy. Let us see these feathers. You hand the feathers to Bevan, and he grimaces. They really are quite dirty, aren't they? No matter. These will serve very nicely for making quills. See, you just dip this part into your ink. No, there's a bit too much. Give on the feather here. Well, perhaps as a paintbrush? It feels like the ridges here on the end would leave streaks, doesn't it? Maybe as an arrow. See how it compares to these arrows of mine. Rather poorly, I suppose. Bevan scowls. Still, many fine uses. Mayhap I will put them all in a sack and see how it serves as a pillow.
But such musings will have to wait. Winter is approaching, and autumn doesn't last.
But such musings will have to wait. For winter is approaching, autumn doesn't last. The storehouses are not stocked with salted and preserved boar meat by the time the nights turn cold. Mossward will go hungry. Unless the Uruks come back, I suppose. No, don't tell anyone I said that. It is not funny. But we always have need of boar meat, and we are fortunate that many such creatures dwell nearby. If you return to me with fine cuts of boar steak, all of Mossward will toast your name when winter comes. Alright, we've collected all our boar meat. Time to return to town.
Very good. This boar meat should help carry Mossward through some of the coldest winter months.
I will see this boar meat is salted and preserved, and it should help carry Mossward through some of the coldest winter months, when belts must be tightened and plates seem lightest. Proved helpful for the town. I have abandoned my idea of using those Kraban feathers. A number of uses? My wife said the number might as well have been 0 after she tried the pillow I made from them. "Bevan, you fool," she said to me. "It takes more than 8 feathers to make a pillow, and anyone who tries it with Kraban feathers, of all things, deserves the crimp it would leave in his neck." Alright. Time to go look for some more king's foil. Time to head up to the ruins over here, where more king's foil is said to be growing. This king's foil is apparently very ripe. Alright, we got ward tracks. Let's have a look. The tracks continue south into the Howling Stone. Alright, what do we have here? A freshly killed deer. The trail ends at a grisly scene. Guess we gotta investigate this. There's the ward. There we go. We have slain the warg of the Howling Stones. Give the news to Cled. Very well. Let's finish collecting the king's foil. Right, we collected all the king's foil. Looks like we can return to town. After slaying a few more of these pesky wolves, of course.
Greetings.
I'm glad to see you return safely and victorious. With any luck, the wolves will return to their usual cells before too long, though it may take some time. There is something foul in the air, and I fear our troubles are not entirely over. Still, I think the people of Mossward can breathe a bit easier now, in no small part thanks to your heroics. Excellent.
can I be of service?
Thank you. With this, I should have more than enough to continue tending to the injured, perhaps with a little extra in case an emergency comes to pass. It looks like we finished all of the main quests within Mossward, and now we are kind of encouraged to leave and continue questing in other parts of the region, so it looks like a good place to end the video. We'll leave off here, and then in the next video, we'll continue on to the next town, etc., etc. Thank you guys for sticking around for this video. I hope to have more out soon. I will be taking a big break, probably until around January the 4th, January the 5th, somewhere around then, and then I'll start making videos like this again, also with Guild Wars Reforged. My other game I'm currently playing quite a lot of as well. So anyways, see you next time.